Can I also thank the honourable member for Foyle for raising this issue? I had spoke to him beforehand, so he knows where I'm coming from, I just want to put some things on record. On the facts of the case that he has so meticulously outlined, and my heart, and I'm saying this for the record, my heart goes out to those family members who have been left with an empty chair that will never be filled, and my sincere condolences. No one should ever lose a loved one in circumstances like this. And that's where I'm coming from. That's my standpoint. Unfortunately, it's the history of Northern Ireland that too many families are left feeling this endless grief. And the honourable gentleman who spoke before me, as Helens has just referred to that. Too many daughters have walked down the aisle alone. Too many sons have graduated without their proud parent watching on. And too many mothers have wept over the clothes of their son who said it's long faded away. The devastation, Madam Chair, is so clear in so many households in the province to this day, and their loss must be acknowledged. And I want to put that on record. I wish that this were not the case. I wish that my cousin Shelley did have the memories of first Christmas without my cousin Kenneth Smith, after he was ruthlessly murdered 49 years ago on the 10th of December 1971 by the IRA. I wish that his companion and friend and fellow worker Daniel McCormick had not been murdered. He happened to be a Roman Catholic, by the way, and the IRA murdered both of them on a road outside Castledown some 49 years ago. I wish that when she came to me with the file clutched in her hand and tears in her eyes, that I could give her what she sought, and she sought justice, the same as I sought justice, and as everyone else here has equally said that they sought justice. But I couldn't and I can't, because that's not in my power. It's not about tit for tat. I don't seek in any way, Madam Chair, to take away from the pain that the Finucane family felt and feel today. I too have had my debate in this House, calling for the murder of Kenneth Smith to be reopened, and for that of Lexi Cummins, who was murdered by the IRA in Strabane, and for their murderers and those collaborators to be called to justice, but nothing was achieved. It is not because he did not deserve it, or they did not deserve it, because they did, but they didn't get their justice. His sister and family, including my side of the family, because it's my side of the family as well, long to see justice, and yet we must trust that this righteous judge of all, I'm a Christian, I believe very, very clearly that you might escape it in this world, but you will not escape it in the next. And I believe that in my heart, and I'm sure there's others here will also probably concur with my sentiments. And he will mete out the justice, the appropriate justice to all of those evil men and women who killed and have not been made accountable, and that's everyone I'm referring to. This debate was titled well, the consideration be given to the potential merits of an inquiry. And I do see a family devastated, and I want justice for them. However, at the same time, I see Kenneth Smith's family. I see Lexi Cummins' family. I have a meeting just coming up, and I'm telling you this here because it's just come to me in the last few weeks. Corporal John Birch's son, he was one of the 4 UDR men murdered at Ballydugan. I've spoken about it in this House. I think some members here will, I can think of 2, would be maybe 3 that would probably remember that debate. But I mean, out of those 4 UDR men, I knew 3 of them personally. I knew them from where they come from, seeking answers to assuage their perpetual grief. That young Corporal John Birch's son wants an explanation. He's asked me in an email, Jim, I need to talk to you about it. And so I'm going to do that. My simple point today is that in any consideration of any public inquiry, the consideration of the third of the cases that remain unsolved must be enshrined in. So do these families that I have spoken about, do they not, and my constituents, do they not deserve the same treatment? Well, I tell you, Madam Chair, they do. And with all due respect, who will meet with my cousin Shelley and tell her where the disgraceful murder of Pat Finucane deserves a level of justice that Kenneth Smith is unworthy of? Who will explain why her pain and quest for answers should not call for a public inquiry, but this does? I would calmly say, I wish, I mean this with all my heart, for every grieving person in the province to have the closure that we all need and we all wish to have from years and years ago. I wish for every child to feel that the loss of their father and mother has not slipped by. And I want to fight for Jonathan Birch to have the full story of the murder of his father at Ballydugan 30 years ago in April past, just as it is being done on behalf of the Finucanes today. And I will not say that one person must simply accept a life of pain and questions while someone else deserves governmental attention. I say that very respectfully. Unless someone will attend the homes of any of the 211 widowed RUC officers and tell them that the slaughter of their loved ones is acceptable, but others are not, I will not be able to accept this call. Unless someone will tell a child whose father was taken away so early that he has no memories of him, that his pain is not deserving of this high-level intervention, I will not be able to accept this call. But I will say again, Madam Chair, this is not a tit for tat, or my pain is worse than your pain. It's not that. This is acknowledging that the government shouldn't create levels of mourning. So I want peace. Until now, I want peace for the Finucanes, just as I want for every family who still grieves, and public inquiries cannot be the solution for these. Pat Finucane's death mattered, and it does. But so did the murder of Kenneth Smith, Lexi Cummins, John Birch, Stephen Smart, John Bradley, Michael Adams, 4 UDR men killed at Ballydugan, and Stuart Montgomery, a young police officer of 18-year-old, murdered at Pomeroy. So did the other 3,200 murders in the province. Their loss, that I'm speaking for today, Madam Chair, is felt today, and the pain of the innocent matters, and so does the call for equal justice and the need for this nation collectively to move forward. Thank you.